The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone. How's everyone doing today? Hello, Patrick and Hasselhoff. Hi everyone, how are you? Warriors. Okay, I want to go over a few things I talked about yesterday. So yesterday I was talking about the euro having a chance to trade 740. This was the third drive line. We have a throwover working here. So to me, it's not just price, but how price gets there. So this reading in the RSI at 74, although it may be diverging from the higher levels, it's not ideal to me to short. I prefer readings under 70 when the market's making new highs. Give me a Y if you get it. Also, hi Kevin. For our screen shares today, will everyone please try the chat box? Post them in the chat box, please. It'll be cleaner. It'll be faster, more efficient. Hello, Hardianto. Congratulations on your Euro yen call. I'm sure you're still there. Okay. So how would I handle this? I would either wait for the throwover to be negated and trade back under this blue line. Everyone see this? So I would wait for the throwover. Once it's back inside the formation, that would be a short. Or I actually think we're going to get another high. This looks like drive 1, drive 2, and that there could be another high coming. So I'm holding off right now. I don't want to get long. I don't want to get short. I need new highs or I need a failure under the blue line. Give me a Y if you get it. So Armand, why don't you try it? Armand, I want to congratulate you on the pound and guppy call that you made. Can you try it in the chat box if you could find it? Also, the harmonic call on Euro Pound was right on, spot on. 83 was the target. We got to 83. So we have that. 83 was the call. I said that we would have a rally based upon where's the box. It should be on the main thing. People trying to find the chat box. There should be a chat box that you could see. I'll pull it up, Armand. Anyway, so the harmonic call by Nick for a bounce from 83 happened. Plus, we still have the Blaker working, which is the head and shoulders, and we're rallying right back to the neckline. So if you believe in this head and shoulders top, this rally could offer the shorting opportunity that everyone was afraid that they missed. Give me Y if you see it. So FA 2 for 2, they called the low. Blaker called the breakdown, and now we're getting a retest of the breakdown. Everyone see this? Hi, Ziggy, how are you? Can't put anything in the chat box. Okay, cup and handle. Yeah, where are we going, Hasselhoff? No, that's not the chat box. That's the question box. Okay, the other thing I want to handle is
Good morning.
Yes, go ahead, Steve.
It's Steve.
Good morning, buddy.
The chat box and the question box is common for the attendees, actually. So it's one thing. They can use that one.
What, the question box?
Yes. It's one of the.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the attendees don't have any access to the chat box.
Yes, it's common for them. Question and chat box is common for them.
Because it shows up, but everything they put in chat comes up as a question. We only have the question box. That's what Ziggy's saying. It's the same, just like you, Steve. Okay. All right. So why don't you hold your shares for right now, guys? And I just want to cover something else that FA talked about and I talked about on Monday in the yen, and I know there's still some people looking for lower levels in the yen. But we're breaking out of an ascending triangle here. And Monday I talked about why can't we travel towards 112? 112 being a possibility. So here we are. They tried to reverse it yesterday. Yen's acting pretty good. And FA has it covered the same way as a possible head and shoulders. Okay. So I just want to show you guys. So FA ForexAnalytix has been spot on many pairs, many instruments today. And I just want you guys to see that we have some active harmonics here in US dollar yen and ABCD. Nick has it here. It's another harmonic. And that's a monthly. Had a head and shoulders look earlier. Saw it earlier in the day. So we'll see on this. I saw the alert on the yen. So I'd be careful about shorting it. That's why all the yen crosses are doing so well. Also, I want to show you the Dixie. I don't think the Dixie is ready to turn yet. Here's your 1 hour. Although it's looking a little better here. Okay, I have, this could be a 1, 2, 3, but I think there's one more shot down in the Dixie, something like this, which may give us better shorting opportunities in the euro. It's starting to look like a wedge to me. Something like this. Everyone see this? So we could have one more shot down. I don't like this reading here. This was a decent reading. So this, if this is going to occur in the Dixie and we get one more shot down, starting to look like a falling wedge down towards 99, that'll give us a better shorting opportunity in euro, maybe above 108. Okay, so we'll see what happens here. Everyone doing okay? I have some time to UJ Long as open supply. Okay, so Jess agrees with me. And I have a little business I'd like to take care of. You know, we don't have a lot of rules here in this community. Really, it's pretty open and loose and, you know, freedom of expression. But just like I said, that we pull for each other. And when it's a safe environment to share your work, these screenshots that you're showing, no one makes sarcastic comments about them, or no one hopes that someone's wrong about a scenario. We're all captains of our own ship. I just want to clarify something about the interviews. Okay, buddy. You could get in your car. I forgot what they called the car on your television show. Kit. You and Kit. So when I bring guests in here, I just want to let you know that they're giving their time. Hi, Manu. How are you? They're giving their time. And whether or not you enjoy the presentation or not, I'm an old-fashioned guy from the Midwest, and I think they deserve respect due unto others. Or if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I know that yesterday Peter has some very dramatic and pessimistic views, and you can reject it but not make comments. Do we have a deal?
Hey, Dale.
Yes.
Do you mind if I add to that?
Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, you know, Peter, it was Peter from yesterday, correct?
Yeah.
You have so many people on your interviews. It's it's hard to keep them all on track. This is and by the way, for those of you that don't know, this is Blake, and I want to tell you his views on the markets, the dollar index, like the S&P, you know, how he feels about equities, you know, it's really good information. And you know, people have different ways of you know, coming to conclusions about what they feel in the market, but they're all, you know, opinions, and you're
right.
Exactly right. They're giving their valuable time. I mean, these webinars, just so you guys all know, they are free. You know,
yeah, I used to joke, Blake, let me interrupt you one more time.
Yeah.
You know, when something like this would happen, running a free room on FX Street and people started complaining, I would say to them, well, I'll wire your refund today.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I did the same. I think I said something very similar when I did the old Wise Trade webinars. But
yeah.
you know, and you go really far as far as getting different people to interview and to voice their opinions and the thoughts on the markets. And I'll tell you guys, from a you know, trading point of view, and I'm sure I could speak on behalf of all of you that you know, are at home or in your home office, and you know, trading's lonely, and you know, you spend the majority of your day at home or in your office by yourself, you know, trading the markets, and it's nice to have different viewpoints and points of view about, you know, how people feel about the market. And some people may not, they're not going to jive with your opinion. And I'll tell you, my opinions are wrong a lot of the time. My trades are wrong a lot of the times. Last night I got stopped out of the euro yen being short. But you know, we have opinions, and different traders are going to have, you know, different methodologies on how they come to those conclusions. And I think it's important that you try to draw what you can from them, and that's what the point of this is.
Yeah, and you know, Blake, I don't want to filter out guests based upon that they all are optimistic about the future, Pollyanna views. I think that it's healthy, even if it is a little scary. You think I want to, you know, think about that the social fabric of our country with what's happening right now could get worse. No, but you know what? Some of this information, although you don't like it, could really be critical in your life and your family's life. So you can reject it and think that someone's crazy, but you may also glean some things to prepare you. There could be a period in the market where it's not about return on capital, but return of capital. So we haven't seen that in a long time since the financial crisis, but I guarantee you that people that forewarned about what happened in 08, and there were many, and there were also many that thought it could never happen, may have saved people, you know, huge drawdowns on their IRAs and everything else. So, you know, I prefer to present all views, and that doesn't include just optimistic views. Do you agree?
You know, I did Wise Trade back in the day. We had a channel on Dish Networks. So if you were in the U.S. or actually anywhere, and you had a paid subscription to Dish, to our specific channel, you could watch, you know, our Wise Trade shows from wherever, and we had the Morning Edge at that point. And I was traveling, and I used to come home for 2 days a week, and for at that period, I would come home 2 days a week, and I would jump on the Wise Trade webinars. This is pre-financial crisis, actually pre-housing crisis, and but we had a studio, we had cameramen and women.
You had to
line
wear
producers.
makeup.
I had to wear makeup, all that stuff.
You
Yep.
masculine
Yeah, but
thing.
that was his favorite part, actually.
Yeah, but we had producers, and so I'd come home and I'd get on air and I would say, hey, and I would use San Diego, your hometown, Dale, specifically to talk about the housing crisis and say, the numbers just don't add up and blah blah blah. I'm like, this is I'm like, I'm not a real estate investor, but you guys think about the numbers here and about the affordability index and yada yada yada, and I would get pulled aside by the producers and say, they'd say, Blake, you can't talk about this stuff is very depressing. You're squat. And I would do it every week, and they would talk to me every week. But after
So what if a handful of people took what you said to heart and liquidated their homes?
Actually, a lot of people did, and I got a lot of feedback the following years.
Right.
After those, but because I was talking more sense and putting up numbers and I mean, some of this stuff can obviously be very theoretical and some of these some of these ideas, but regardless, when you get to extremes in the markets, whether it's sentiment or whatnot, you have to start, and one thing that's always kept me safe as a trader and as an investor is being more a contrarian. So I think it's always important to understand, both points of view and keep an open mind. But anyway, Dale will, and this is just for everybody out there, you're going to bring on some pretty interesting viewpoints. I mean, we have a lady coming up probably in the next couple months. She's an astrologer, and but people use her analysis of the stars to make investment decisions. Now, some of you may laugh, but early in my career, I was this is like 20 some years ago. I went to a seminar about astrology and using the stars and the markets and you laugh, but man, there's a lot of very persuasive evidence that is worth your thought.
I've interviewed Norm Linsky. He's one of the best, and I've seen him hit. I've seen him hit on turns, on market turns, based upon his work, astrological, planetary work, and the whole universe. That's how we have harmonics and math. Everything is math, and the planets and the cycles, and it's all one master handicraft of whoever made it. And
sure.
So you get these rhythms. You get these rhythms that people can spot. I spot them using RSI. Someone again would spot them using planetary oppositions. So there's many ways to skin a cat, right, buddy?
There are.
If I may pitch in here, RSI is an index that uses mathematics to show you momentum. On the other hand,
everything is.
Yeah. On the other hand, astrology is not even a science. Huh? I mean, sorry.
Astronomy.
Astrology.
Yeah.
Because astronomy is a totally different thing. And speaking as a Greek, astronomy comes from the words astro, which is star, and nomos, which is law. It means the laws of the stars, in a sense, the laws of the universe. And that's why it's actually a science. It's a science based on physics. On the other hand, astrology comes from the words astro, which is star, as we explained, and logos, which is speech. In essence, speaking about the stars. That's very far away from being a science, as you understand.
Oh yeah, what's your astrological sign, Steve?
How is it called in English? The twins. It's not called twins.
Oh my God, you're a Gemini?
Yeah, that's one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
the Greek name is different. Yeah.
All right. So am I, Steve. So how are all of you today?
So, the bottom line is, if some of you feel we just entered the big fat Greek wedding movie, we did just moments ago with Steve.
Yeah.
Steve
Yeah.
Bulgari. So
now I know why he has different moods. You know, I'm like.
I got to tell you guys a story. So, my father-in-law is Greek, and he would always tell me like the definition of every word in any word that I ever used. He's like, that's a Greek word, and this is where it comes from. And then he saw it in the movie, and he never did it again after that. I go, because I looked at him. I'm like, hey, that's exactly what you say. And he's like, ha, and he thought it was funny. And then he's like, oh no. But it's funny.
All right. Anyway, guys, we have a normal guest today, because he's only going to be talking about something esoteric like harmonics, which Nick covers. And but I do want to also say that I'm going to be interviewing some of the community here, Blake.
Yeah.
At LAR and FX Street and Live Traders, in the community, there were some excellent traders that had an excellent hit rate. They were very consistent. And I want to make this offer to anyone that's hearing my voice, that if you really want to contribute to the community, you could have that half hour and make a presentation and show your work. Besides showing your screenshots, we could have a conversation. So I am going to be presenting people and giving them a chance to share their work and give them some visibility. And it's not always the people with 100,000 followers that are the most talented. And there are some people that don't have big followings, but are excellent traders. And I just, if you feel like you want to do this, do this. So I'm going to be bringing on community members, because they're just as good as people outside of the community that I bring in. So, so that's why it's important to start this habit of just respecting. You could have your thoughts in your mind, but please do not make negative comments in the question box, because a lot of our guests check in to see our whole session and see what's going on here. And I really don't want anyone to feel insulted for doing a good deed and planting a good seed and being a giver.
Absolutely.
So,
100% agree. So with can we talk about like some of the markets here? I'd like to show a few things.
Yeah, you know what, Blake, I'm curious, what have you done with your Euro shorts with what's happened here in the last 24 hours?
I expected the euro to get up towards, and here I'm going to talk about the euro a little bit in its entirety. So, like I said yesterday,
take over my TV screen like Outer Limits. I know you're too young
I'll take over right here. I am a little, I don't know who that is. I'm in my mid-40s and I have no idea who that is. Okay.
Science fiction. Yeah.
So as we talked yesterday, I was expecting the euro dollar to get here to the 107.75 level. This is the 618, and I said, this is doable. So we've already rejected it once this morning. We're kind of back up there again, or we're on our way up there. I want to see what the reaction is here in the euro dollar for the day. So before I start saying, okay, well, I'm going to add here, what I'd like to do is I'd like to see how we end the day. If we end the day, below this and we show some sort of reversal candle, I might add on to the euro. But I did, and I want to show you actually the euro as a whole, because I do have some euro pound short that's around my break. Yeah, it's not my break even. I'm actually short from higher, but I mark to market every night, so I'm underwater for the overnight session. But my euro pound, I've been short this thing for a while. But you can see how the euro pound is actually coming back to the neckline of the head and shoulder pattern. So here, let's go over to the daily.
I showed that. That's what's great about FA, is because Nick on her harmonic said we bounced from 83. That was a great call.
It was, because she saw the 127% extension of this move right here.
Right.
And so what she was looking at is the move down here to 83 and then the bounce. So it was a great call by Nick, seeing that bounce level. And you're right, and that one of the benefits of having, you know, ForexAnalytix is being able to seeing different viewpoints and understanding why things are bouncing from where they're bouncing or whatnot. But this is the neckline of the head and shoulder pattern. Remember, it's a complex head and shoulder pattern, so it's not like it's not your normal, you know, horizontal line. We can come up and we can bounce back to, you know, 84 or 15 or whatever, without much of an issue. And actually we're approaching some fibs here. So if you can go over to the hour.
You know what, Blake? Your last chart almost made it look like 83 would be a truer neckline. There were some 83 hits on your earlier EG charts.
Oh, right here.
Back in December, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is also a horizontal, you know, this you can say, you know, this is a horizontal line that
there
comes
you
in
go.
here. But the reason why it's complex is because your right shoulder is actually higher than your left shoulder, so that's why you have a slanted neckline. So I expected, you know, a bounce around 84 or just above 84. You know, this is doable. So all this stuff is like, you know, this is all within the realms of what should or could happen.
It's the Hunchback of Notre Dame formation, Quasimodo.
Yeah, Quasimodo. That would be it right here. This is what he looks like. I did take a loss overnight though in the euro yen. I traded this in Asia. I actually shorted the euro yen up against this trend line. Shoot, I didn't want to do that. Let me grab. I didn't mean to grab that whole fib. So when we were up against this trend line here last night, I did squeeze in a short at 116.80. I put my stops right above 117. Very minimal risk, but I got stopped out overnight. You can see we blew through that trend line, which, you know, risk is improved. There's a little bit of, you know, people are thinking, oh, Macron's got this in the bag. You know, there's another pullout this morning. So the euro did boost higher, and actually the euro yen, if you look at, you know, this from Sunday, and for those of you guys that don't use ForexAnalytix, let me just give you some analysis from Sunday.
Yeah, it was spot on, and I remember your Skype as well. You liked the position of the yen for euro yen long at that 115.
Yeah, we had, if you can see, April 17th, Asian end of day analysis. So this is the weekend. Being a buyer below 115 was the right play for the euro. Oh, that was, sorry, that was end of day analysis. This is the euro yen hit the 618 retracement. The hourly is very oversold. We may not see a sign of reversal yet, but possible Gartley pattern here may be setting up, and you may want to look for a counter trend line, or I meant to say counter trend move, while near the 115 level or just below. And this was a big Gartley pattern, which we put up in the daily chart at that time. And since then, we've bounced pretty aggressively. And now that we've bounced like that, you got to start looking at it as, okay, well, how far are we going to go? And that's the question I'm asking now. It's like, okay, we've broken higher, and now I'm going to get rid of this. Let me get rid of this 618 here. Okay. Now you can see from the high to low, we have a 38% retracement that comes in around 118. We are now overbought on the 4-hour. Okay, so we're overbought and we're divergent, by the way. You can see that peak right here. Yeah. This is that peak. We have a new peak, but RSI has not peaked yet, but it's divergent. So we should stall somewhere between where we're currently at and 118, which is also, just for the record, it's the underside of this trend line. So if I'm going to take this one here, and let me make it a, yeah, it's a back test, exactly. Let me make it a, however hell I want to do this here. Let's see. I want to do it.
Maybe these yen crosses are okay until you know, maybe another week or so until we get this sell in May and go away in equities.
Yeah, that definitely the seasonal factors could play in. I'll tell you that I'm looking for the move to this back test at least to be tested or close to. This might be it for the euro yen, somewhere around here, since we have that divergent that divergent relative strength. But regardless, I think you got to watch risk appetite. Obviously, risk appetite is going to be important. You know, how's the market react here? And I'll tell you what, the stock market has been relatively heavy. Now you take the Nikkei's had a bounce back overnight, and actually right now you can see the Nikkei's, you know, looking better. But I'll tell you, if you know, just focusing a little bit on the Nikkei here, let me make that normal again. No, because I changed that. It's all right, I'll use NIX. Okay, so you have the Nikkei here that looks like this. It looks like a possible flag. Damn it. I'm really screwing this up here. Obviously, I'm having a very difficult time drawing this morning. So we have a flag. Yeah.
You're doing it like me now, Blake. You've learned.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know what's happening. But anyway, we might have a flag pattern on the Nikkei, so that's something to keep in mind. It is outperforming the S&P, because the S&P, you can see, hasn't bounced as aggressively, but the S&P is still trading relatively heavy. So I don't know if I'd be too overly excited about buying all these yen pairs up where they're currently at, actually after having such an aggressive bounce, especially like the euro yen. So there are, you know, there's a lot of factors that are playing into this euro dollar bounce. As we get as we get closer to this weekend, and especially later today and tomorrow, I have to believe that people start to get a little concerned about being long the euro up here at the mid 107s. The reason why I say that is because when you think about what has happened, the whole populist movement, you know,
and the polls being wrong on a few major events.
And on top of that, Dale, the polls may have been wrong, but the race is very close in France. It's not like a, you know, it's not like it's not like a, you know, a lopsided, you know, possible victory here. You're talking a very, very tight race amongst several front runners, and a couple of them that are very opposed to the EU. So, you know, a lot of people will start thinking, oh geez, well, I remember I've seen this happen during Brexit. I've seen it happen during, you know, the Trump candidacy or presidency, and you know, could we see it here in France? And you might get a little bit you know, some concerned traders being on the long side at maybe what would be considered lofty levels should the French elections not go as the polls suggest. So I would be careful with the euro crosses where they're currently at. They're all butting their heads up against some pretty big resistance here, and you know, so I'm just looking for some reversal signs, which I haven't seen yet. But
back under 740, I think, would be your first indication, buddy.
Yeah, I would.
Get a candle close in there.
I would agree with that. And so, you know, the thing is the point I want to bring up is you know, with the euro, just start being real careful with it. And not everything is roses. I mean, I take losses just like everybody else. You know, I'm underwater in my euro trade right now. You know, I got stopped out of my euro yen last night. Even though I expected the euro to come up here, I hoped it wouldn't, but I expected it to come up here. It's still here, and I'm still underwater. So just because I had a great, you know, couple of days with the pound pairs, and by the way, I did buy the pound yesterday. I bought it, and for those of you that don't know, the pound just came back and retested its breakout point at 127.75. I've been a buyer below 127.80 for the last, you know, 24 hours. So I still think we've got a flag pattern that's developing here. The pound still looks very constructive. So don't rule out the pound yet. And I will tell you this much, in my opinion, about the cable. This is, you can see this blue trend line here. I'll actually make it like a dotted line, okay? You can see that trend line that comes through here, and it comes in right at 129. Yeah, it's 129 was the spike high. It's also 127% extension of this this range right here. We stopped on a dime, and all we're doing right at this moment is just consolidating these recent gains. I expected us to come off. We have, but you know, if the pound makes it above, yeah, a little bull flag formation. If the pound breaks above 128.50, which is only 40 pips away and could happen very quickly, you know, we could see another surge towards 129. And I will tell you this: if we break through 129, I'm expecting a move to 130, if not beyond 130, in fairly short order. Because this would be a just this right here is just a here. Let me grab a pen. Let me grab a different color.
Carney's speaking this AM, Patrick is telling us.
Oh, thanks, Patrick. This right here is just like a consolidation of a very, very strong move here. And so this flag pattern, you know, should break higher. That's a very poor drawing, but you guys get the gist of it. So just some food for thought. And Carney is speaking. Let me double check that. Yeah, he is speaking very shortly. Actually, he'll be speaking in the next couple hours, and he is speaking.
Patrick is actually asking what should we expect from it. I don't know if Stelios is here and he wants to pitch in, but generally, just my 50 cents. Carney has been as dovish as possible whenever he has the opportunity. So generally, expecting hawkish talk from Carney is going to be something. You know, I won't say unprecedented, but definitely not to be expected. That's my 50 cents.
Okay, yeah, and so I guess to add to that, Steve, is that if everybody's expecting a dovish Carney, if he comes out a little bit more hawkish, you know,
I agree.
that'll actually end up catching the market wrong-footed again. So, and I'll tell you, all the research I've read just over the last 48 hours following the UK snap election, the amount of views that have been changing from an investment banking standpoint has been, it's like a 180. Now, that's, you might say, well, they were wrong. And they were looking, you know, most investment banks, you read a lot of research and analysis, you know, so many banks were expecting a move lower. I get that, but they've been expecting a move lower for a long time, and so now they're just starting to change their tune. If they're just now starting to change their tune, that means positioning is probably going to start to change a little bit from, you know, being net short sterling overall to possibly becoming that long sterling in the coming, you know, weeks and months ahead. It's not, you know, you take investment banks and their positioning and how they view the markets. They're not it's not a speedboat. It's a actual cruise ship. If you use an analogy like that.
It takes time to turn a battleship around.
It does. That's the one thing I love being, you know, trading for a small, you know, fund that I trade for. It's like, you know, we want to make a decision. We make it instantly, where, you know, if you're a big fund, if you're like Fidelity or a mutual fund of that nature, I mean, you hear the, you know, arguments, you sit down, you meet about it, and then you go, okay, we're allocated, you know, several $100 million in this direction. We need to start actually tweaking that and not be so heavy one direction and start actually thinking about going the other direction. It's not an instantaneous decision. This is a decision that's made amongst several managers.
Yeah, they have a committee, Blake. And, you know, Goldman's earnings were terrible, and a lot of it, they've retraced a lot of their Trump rally gains, and a lot of it was they blamed low volatility in markets, but they were also wrong about a lot of things. That's one of the reasons. Normally their trading desks are very profitable, and they weren't, and Goldman sold off about 15, 20 bucks in the last 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, right. Hey, you know what? Kimmy brought up another point. She said Mnuchin is speaking today. He is too. And remember,
Oh, I thought that was Munchkin. Oh, his name's Mnuchin. Okay.
Munchkin. That's that's as bad as calling Tiny Tim. What's his name? The old Treasury Secretary. Anyway,
Yeah.
but what's really interesting, and I saw I saw research on this, and I can't quote it because I don't remember. I read so much, and this is like several months ago, and I saw how Republican Treasury Secretaries, under Republican they tend to be more less dollar have a less dollar strong policy, and I forgot where I read that, and it was a really interesting piece of research. This is a couple months ago, so obviously it's I can't even remember what I ate for lunch yesterday, so I don't it's hard for me to recall things like that, but especially when you read so much. But anyway, interesting stuff. So watch the euro. Be careful with the euro here. I'm going to watch it very carefully here at this 107.70 level. I think the pound still is poised to move higher. We have things that can work for the pound and for the dollar and for the euro and against the euro today with Carney and Mnuchin speaking today.
You would think that Carney is going to be dovish. Like most central bankers, he doesn't want a rapid appreciation of the pound, does he? Look at what happened to the FTSE when the pound exploded.
No, but the competitive valuations of where the cable are right now versus where it was a year ago. Yeah. It's a lot cheaper. It's helped them probably tremendously. There's a fine line a central banker has to walk with a weak currency versus a strong currency, because you want a weak currency to an extent, but you don't want it catastrophically weak, because then you lose a lot of investment into a country. Because, like, let's say yeah. I own
outflows.
Yeah, exactly. For example, I'm a CEO of a Fortune 5,000 company, and I do a couple $100 million dollars of business every year, and I'm like, there's this UK company I've been looking to acquire or do business with, and I still think the pound's going down. Well, I'm not going to make that acquisition right now because I think the company is going to become cheaper based on what I can purchase that company with my dollars, or if I want to make a material investment, I might wait a little bit because I think that prices are going to be a little lower. So as a central banker, there's a fine line between competitive devaluation and really catastrophic devaluation. So
plus,
when you look at,
if I may pitch in, devaluating a currency is also inflationary in nature, obviously, especially when you have a negative trade balance. I mean, when you're importing more stuff than you're exporting.
Sure, and that would be the case in the UK, right?
Exactly. And the problem is that if inflation then forces you as a central bank to hike rates to contain inflation, you can easily, especially if, things turn down in the global economy at the same time a little bit or whatever, you can easily get a situation that you have stagflation. So that's also something they are considering very strongly, and this is one of the reasons they've probably already regretted cutting rates in BOE so soon after the Brexit decision without even expecting to see what the imminent reaction of the economy would be.
Well then, Steve, President Trump needs to be careful about what he's wishing for on a weak dollar, because we have pretty negative trade deficits.
The problem, Dale, and we can have a big discussion about that one day that we will decide to talk about macro, is that what Trump says he wants and the tools he says he intends to use are conflicting each other. Yeah. So in essence, something has to give. Either he has to admit that his pre-election commitments are not his actual goals, or he has to change the policies he wants to follow. Both cannot happen.
Okay.
Steve, thanks for your comments too. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna have to come off air here in a bit, and I want to let Dale probably give everybody a little bit of a break before his esteemed guest comes in. But I just got a question from VJ asked about the dollar yen. Look, and just asked what my views are. I really don't have many views on the dollar yen. I've been bearish, and been trading the yen pairs to the short side overall for the last, several weeks. And this is the daily chart here. Only problem that we have with the dollar yen right now is that we are, we're holding here, let me get rid of this really quick. We're holding a 50% retracement basically. We are at what I consider channel lows right now. I think while we trade below 110, it's still very bearish. Do I think it's possible that we get back to 110? I think it has more to do with risk appetite. I'll tell you what, if I was long the dollar yen, I'd be pretty nervous. I mean, I can see, just like Dale pointed out earlier, and some of my teammates at ForexAnalytix saw here, we have a little bit of an inverted head and shoulder pattern. We could get a bit of a lift, but look at how
good.
No, it's not. The price action's horrible, and the bid that you see here just gets erased immediately. So because of that, I sure as hell would be I would be really worried about this price action here. I mean, you can see it's just not holding up very well, and nor is the stock market. And like I showed you with the Nikkei, which you have to always take into account when you're trading these yen pairs, is that the Nikkei is not trading very well either, and it's got a possible flag. So,
So this could also be a warning sign after big runs in yen crosses, to be taking something off the table in euro, yen, guppy, etc.
Yeah, I mean, they've had nice moves. I mean, after a 200-300 pip move off the lows in the euro yen, I wouldn't be a buyer. There's no way. I mean, especially with the election coming up this weekend, or this first round, and going into the second round elections for the French elections. No, I mean, there's too much risk. I mean, if I'd be pulling risk off right now, I mean, but that would be my view if I was long the euro yen at this point, which I'm not. I just traded it Sunday to Monday, so I'm not long at this point. But anyway, those are my views on the dollar yen. For me, it's like there's nothing to do at the moment. Like if we had a rally to 110, I'd strongly consider putting a short on, but that's not here, and it's not right now. So there's nothing for me to do with it that I can see. But that doesn't mean
the right trade is no trade. That's
exactly. I always have people. For years, I did these webinars for like 15 years, and people would ask me, "Hey, Blake, are you bullish the euro dollar?" And I'd say no. And say, "Well, why aren't you shorting it?" Well, then you should be shorting it then. Just because I'm not bullish doesn't necessarily make me bearish. Now, I'm just using the euro as an example, but like the dollar yen, it's like I'm not. I mean, overall, I'm bearish, but doesn't mean that it's set up to be a short right now. I would short it up here. I don't think I'd short it here.
One of your mentees, Blake, someone who Dan Norberg is still looking for new lows. He's a very good trader. I've watched him trade for a while. Still looking for 680 to 750. He's pretty disciplined too. I don't know if that was part of his DNA or he learned that from you, but I pay attention to Dan.
Dan's been around for a while. He's a longtime listener of the webinar. Yeah. So thanks for being around, and thank you guys for sticking around and listening in to Dale, myself, Steve, and I know you're going to bring in a special guest today, which I'm excited to hear.
Blake, can I ask you? I just want to remind you: do you want to use 30 seconds to talk about the upcoming blog posts? The one about the. Okay.
Nope.
You wanted to. Okay.
Nope. All right. Well, since Steve blew it for everybody, thanks, Steve.
I didn't say it. You want to mention it.
Sometimes, I would hate to try to throw your wife a surprise birthday party and help you organize it. It would be the worst thing in the world.
Don't blame.
We should tell your kids. Yeah. Let's tell your.
Don't blame Steve. That was the other Steve. Remember, he's a Gemini. That was bad, Steve.
The double Steve. Okay, so what Steve is talking about, and Steve, I'm just harassing you at this point. We have a blog post that we're going to be posting today, and we're going to be doing a giveaway. This cool thing is it's for ForexAnalytix. You don't have to be a ForexAnalytix subscriber to do this. But this is just prepping you. The blog post should be out later today or at latest tonight. We're going to give you guys the next couple of weeks to show us, take a picture of you and your trading system because we want to see it. And we're selecting 6 winners. They're going to get a ForexAnalytix grab bag. It's basically, you know, coffee mugs. I'm going to send 2, mouse pad, a shirt, t-shirt, the original ForexAnalytix t-shirt, and it's awesome. We'll have pictures of all that stuff, and we want to see your trading systems. And it doesn't have to be the biggest or the baddest trading system. We want to see how you trade and how efficient you're trading. And each one of us, Dale included, we're all going to select our favorites. And then out of those 6, there's going to be a grand prize winner who get to win, and I have them sitting in my desk, in my drawer, a set of all silver, pure silver trading dice. So they're really cool. You'll see a picture of them on the blog post. So we're doing this.
Elio's will be very jealous that he's not getting those. You know, he's a silver fox. So you know.
Yeah, he is, and yeah, I know he's like, oh, I want those, but he can't win. He can't win them. So he's not allowed to win. But we want to see. So what we're going to also do is when we select our favorites. So like, let's say I select Dan, since you mentioned Dan Norbert a little bit ago. I picked Dan, and I said, you know, Dan, this is my favorite setup. He's got his monitor set up this way, and he looks at this, and I like how he's got, you know, his laptop sitting over here for perfect access and blah blah blah. And if I select him, I'll comment on, or him or her, I'll comment on their setup. We're going to post it on our blog post with a picture of that person, their setup, and what we like about their setup. And so you're going to be featured on one of our blog posts with all of your setups, and then the grand prize winner will be selected, and we'll tell everybody why we selected that person as our grand prize winner. So it's going to be fun. I'm so excited. I had been, myself and the team, we've been taking pictures of all the items, and we've been writing this out. It's going to be fun. It'll be fun. We're going to give you guys a few weeks to you know, get your entries in. And again, you don't have to be a ForexAnalytix subscriber to take part in this. It's just going to be fun. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Blake. Great session. I think I only have about 8 minutes, so I'm going to be putting Henrik on.
Yeah, I'm going to let you.
And crew, listen, I really apologize for not being able to share your screenshots. And Blake's talking about fun. Well, you know what? There's nothing more fun than making money. Okay, so I want to acknowledge some of the community members who made great calls. Armand, if you're still here, you're right on top of it. Ardianto, you were right on top of Euro Yen from the bottom. I know you're still riding it. And I'd like to acknowledge Vamsy, who showed a chart on Aussie Kiwi, a couple of charts here, and he was talking about getting long at 106.70. It went a little bit lower, but what a great call by Vamsy. If you're here, Vamsy, I'd like to also, yeah, Jess was there on the supply demand. Vamsy is his name. Let's see if I could find him. Okay. Hi, Brooks. How are you? Ronit, how are you? Ronit's going to be interviewed. One of our members is going to be interviewed here on Monday. There you are, Vamsy Ratakonda. So this is going to be a life-changing experience, and then we're going to do our interview. Hi, Ronit. So Vamsy, I'm not sure if you're still there. There you are. Okay, buddy. This is life-changing. It's like going through a threshold and a paradigm and a Rubicon. So I would just want to acknowledge your work, and you are the winner of a FACE Award for your great call after I got out at 7:50. Nice call on Aussie Kiwi. So this was his call at 70. Not perfect, but close enough for government work. So the euro is, like I said earlier, it held this line. Looks like we're going to make a new high. And if we do, we're not going to confirm. Everyone see this RSI here? So just stand by in 4 minutes. I'm going to bring Henrik on. I really haven't had a break all day. So give me 5, guys. I won't play the commercial. I heard someone talk about they're getting tired of me playing the same videos. I'm going to bring in some motivational, inspirational. Yeah, I think it was you, FX Honor. Okay, so I'm going to bring in some motivational videos for us to play during breaks too. Everyone already knows that ForexAnalytix is a great product, so I probably don't have to pump it as much anymore. So stand by. Stand by. Oh, you like that, huh? Hasselhoff? Okay. Stand by, and I'll be back in a couple minutes, and our interview will begin. Henrik Silverhall is here in the house. Stand by for Henrik. Okay, I'm back. Okay, Henrik, I'm going to make you the presenter. Here we go. So I turn over the controls to you, Henrik. Give me a hello when you...
Hey there.
Hey, Henrik, how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, have you used GoToMeeting before so you know how to screen share?
Yeah, I've done it sometime, but I'm struggling here.
Okay, there's your chart. So everybody, welcome Henrik Silverhall, harmonic trader, Sweden, and his Twitter handle is Henrik_HTSE. Is that correct, my friend?
That's correct, yes. And actually, just these days, we are announcing that I'm going for Europe, so it will change for EU in a couple of days. Yeah.
Okay, so very nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Thank you.
I don't believe I've interviewed you before, have I?
No, never. But you must have interviewed my partner Scott Carney a couple of times.
Yes, yeah. Scott's a huge harmonic guy. I think I interviewed Scott a couple of times. So, Henrik, very nice to meet you. I'd like to start at the beginning because everyone has a beginning. Why don't you tell us about how you got involved in the industry, who were your influences, and how you ended up gravitating towards harmonics as a way to skin the cat in the market.
Yeah, of course. It actually began when I was 15. That's like 25 years ago, something. I started with stocks and was involved with the Swedish organization. I don't know if you heard about. It's called Aktiespararna, Stock Savers in English.
Huh. Okay.
And I've been ever since. So it not really trading, but investing and looking at the Swedish market and in the indexes.
Okay.
And the last couple of years, I think it's 4-5 years now, I've been trading the FX mostly.
Okay.
And it all began with, like most of us, it began with blowing an account, not knowing what I was doing. And then I took a course.
You mean over leveraging yourself?
Exactly. And didn't really have a plan. I didn't know how to risk management, nothing really, in the correct manner with FX and all the leveraging and all that.
You were probably trading with 200 to 1 leverage, right?
Yeah, it was actually more. That's history.
Right. All right. So
But I took a course with a educator that I'm not gonna bring out here. That's for Scott to go on. They were okay. They taught me the basics quite good. I'm not gonna blame them for that, but they were using harmonics as kind of the advanced technical analysis.
Okay.
But as they taught me that, and I was looking at it, I was quite early starting to questioning how they were doing it. They were kind of using a set and forget approach. They saw a pattern, put in a limit order, and just waited. And I was asking, isn't there any way to confirm the trade and get the trigger, or any more edge in the and kind of filter away all the bad patterns? And they just waved their hand and said, that's not us, that's not how we do it. And that's when I was starting to look further and actually reach out for Scott. And that's, I think it's two or 3 years now ago. And he answered quite fast, and brought me on and started to teach me and gave me the tools to start identify patterns in a better way.
Okay. So
yeah,
you had to go through a learning curve. How many years during that journey would you say it took you to finally have confidence and become more consistent and really consider yourself a professional? How many years?
I would say at least 3 years. I'm not calling myself a pro yet. There's those that has been doing this for far more years than me, but a couple of 2-3 years before I had my plan in place, before I had the consistent profits going on, and learning to take the downside as well, learning to see that it can go a month with no profits, and you just have to manage it and be consistent with your risk management and technique.
What is your way of dealing with the fact that there may not be setups? You know, to me, I'm a big believer in what Tom Petty said: the waiting is the hardest part. And less is more. More isn't more. Less is more. And also overcome the fear of missing out and think that you have to be in the market all the time. So that psychology is, I think, pervasive in the industry. People looking at, well, I'm afraid of missing something. How do you overcome that?
Well, it's hard actually, and I must admit that sometimes I fall in the pit nowadays as well. But,
yeah, so once in a while you still impulse trade?
Yeah, I do. That's nothing I can admit that. That's something human to do, I guess.
It is.
But one way to overcome it is to, as I'm doing, I'm teaching new traders, and what I'm focusing most on is risk management and the psychology part. And by doing that, I get a feeling for it myself. I remind myself each day and each week about how to think, and it's always consistently with me as I'm talking to my students.
That's a pearl. So that's a pearl, because I agree with you. When you're teaching, when you're mentoring, it's also self-talk. You're reminding yourself as you teach others. You don't want to be the type of person that do what I say, not what I do. Do what I say because I do it too. Okay, so that's why I encourage people to share their work. It makes them more accountable. Educating people, teaching people, helping people makes you more accountable, because you're just reinforcing your paradigm.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's a great lesson right there. Is teachers become better traders by teaching. So we're looking at some Aussie CAD things, Aussie CAD charts here. Can you tell us What are you seeing here?
This was something I just brought up today. I'm not actually every day trading at these time frames at 30 minutes and so on. I often go for 60 minutes at least, or 24 hours in daily. But this was one that I brought up, and with this new platform that we have for NinjaTrader, we can easily scan the markets for patterns and get alarms where we have signals and the T-bar in place. And this one came up just before this session, and I was looking at it, and this is actually a type 2 trade. I don't know if you're familiar with the type 1 and type 2 trades with harmonics.
Define that.
Type 1 is the first reaction on the pattern. You get a T-bar, the terminal bar, where the pattern has tested all the levels that is defined for the pattern, and then you get a first reaction that is often a quick reaction and almost never that deep or high if it's
so do you trade off of that, or you wait for your T2?
No, I trade for T1, but I'm more aggressive on the management. I trail the stop more aggressively. I draw a trend line. I can just quickly show you here how easily I manage to trade.
So this is a bearish harmonic pattern that you're getting up here. What's the time frame? It's kind of a 30-minute.
Yeah, it's a 30-minute.
So your T1 was prior to this recent high. So you had a completing there at T1. What's the name of this formation? I know there are all kinds of different names.
This is a deep crab pattern.
Okay.
And it's quite extended, but we're looking at this type 2 trade now, and
okay.
I can't see really a situation where I would take this trade right now, because if you're looking at HSI, the indicator that we use for harmonics, it's already crossing down below 50 and not showing anything that would
okay,
say.
Are those that indicator that you just mentioned, are they underneath the chart? I see two different
exactly.
indicators.
HSI there. HSI is the top one here, and that is it's based on RSI, but it's I don't know the techniques behind it, but it's Scott and Keegan McClellan that has developed this one, and it's more responsive to harmonic patterns and ratios.
Okay, and do you use these measurements for patterns diverging? That gives you more confidence if, say, for example, like right now we're making new highs, and your bottom indicator, it looks like it's making the same or a shade lower, and your upper indicator looks like it's making about the same. It didn't make new highs. It didn't confirm the move to new highs. Is that the way you use it?
Yeah, exactly. Divergence is a big part of our analysis as well, and we also use something that Scott developed, the RSI BAM theory, where you get a divergence.
Thought just came to mind. Looking at harmonics is in a way seems to me, and you could refute it, that harmonic patterns are all looking for a turn. They're reversal formations. Are there any continuation formations in harmonics? Or
yeah,
all just, go ahead.
No, we were looking both for reactions and reversal, but you can use them as a trend trading entry technique as well. I use it almost every time because trend is your friend, as they all say, because I look at the higher time frame and make sure I'm in a trend in the right direction of the pattern. So in that way, I use it as a trend following technique.
Okay, so say for example, this would be a more powerful signal if Aussie CAD was trending down. Otherwise, if Aussie CAD is trending up, you're looking at it as a reversal formation. But looking at through your telescope will look for continuation harmonics. Am I?
Yeah, exactly. If I have the trend in my favor, I will look for more extended targets as well. If
Okay.
we, with this one where we have a short type 1 test that it doesn't even reach the target 1, and a type 2 that doesn't look too good on the indicators, I'm looking for short reactions and trying to pick a couple of pips every time.
Okay. So we're looking at a live trade now that the deep crab. I find all of these labels for harmonics. At first, I used to find them amusing. You know, the only crabs I know happened to me in college. Anyway, that's a completely different subject.
Try translating them to Swedish, and you'll see it's even more funny.
Looks like FX Honor got that one. So, Aussie CAD, do you have a view on what's happening here in cable and euro with the dollar being under pressure here, or any other instrument? Any other instrument that you brought here for us to take a look at, maybe a little bit more on a macro? And it looks like your Aussie CAD trade is reversing here, and you're going to get.
I think there might be a reaction down there, but I wouldn't take this trade though for that reason that HSI is already. My for one trigger is that HSI should be up and be in the extreme, and or at least touch the extreme and show a sharp down.
Okay.
Down.
Do you ever get, like, I would look at this pattern and say that we have two drives. You know, I'm you know, one of the techniques I use are looking for 3 drive patterns, and right now it looks like we have 2. So is there a harmonic pattern? Would this pattern be alive if we pulled back here and then made one more high and then did not confirm with your 2 lower indicators?
Yeah, I believe that could be so, yeah. Okay. I'm not that familiar with the 3 drive actually, so.
Okay.
But
number 3 is harmonic, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It's also a number of completion. So, okay, that's a great example, and it's, you know, working live before our eyes. What else were you interested?
I was watching the cable as Blake talked away. And as he said, we do have some resistance up here where it is now, and we should be cautious with it. Not at least with the French election coming up. But
you have a deep crab that could trade over the 130 handle.
Yeah, exactly. I've been looking at this for some days, for a couple of days now, and I'm looking at this deep crab to be completed. I think it will reach there if we don't get a too bearish reaction from the election. But the harmonics will complete up there, I think.
Okay. All right, that's an interesting view.
Short.
So let me ask you this, because you've just showed 2 crab formations, and I noticed this many times in the markets that like wedges, you know, you'll see wedges everywhere, rising wedges, falling wedges. Do you notice that in harmonics that you'll start seeing a lot of crabs or a lot of Gartleys appearing in different instruments at the same time?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm mostly looking at FX, of course, but there's often the pairs, euro pairs often form the same kind of patterns. Of course, you see a lot of crabs right now forming.
That's interesting. So so it's kind of like all one market. A theme can repeat itself in separate instruments.
Yeah.
So harmonics can do the same and across varied instruments around the same time.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Okay, so that's a nice view. At 130, let me ask you this. If the deep crab is completed up at your levels, could that turn out to be a shorting opportunity because it's complete up there?
Yeah, I would look to short it up there, mainly because it's already quite extended, and if it really makes it, if it does a sharp downturn now and get up there within a couple of weeks, I'm really looking to short it up there. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's everything about the indicators, looking at the HSI and RSI, showing me what I want them to do.
We have extremes. You know, your stuff does look like the RSI. It's almost like we're confirming these new highs. So it doesn't matter if you're. Do you look for the divergence before on your indicators underneath to take a counter trend position, or it doesn't matter?
I could do that. I'm trading sometimes for the BAM theory. I'm taking, Scott has a theory of the patterns when they actually exceed the B point. They get a kind of a magnet situation, drawing them up to the harmonic levels of the pattern, and often that is occurred with the BAT. That's the most favorable pattern for it. That's why it's called BAM.
And for markets in acceleration phases to complete these harmonic patterns, is 1.618 the fib extension kind of the maximum that they can go, or can they go to 61.8 if it turns into a runaway? Or is 161.8 kind of a common completion fib extension?
It's a common completion, yeah, but it could extend, and on this extended patterns often get some overspill above the PRC, the zone that it's the permissible execution zone when the T-bar is formed. This is the optimal situation up here for the pattern to complete.
Okay. Okay, nice. That's a nice look. Did you bring anything else that you want to share?
I thought I'd bring up, this is actually something from Scott, so I'm not going to try to steal this from him. He brought up the SP500 in his March harmonic trader report just a couple of weeks ago. And I can show it here. He brought up that we had a ABCD pattern forming, but that it was quite early. We had to watch out for the HSI and RSI to see what it's showing. He did show that it was in a downtrend. Yeah, exactly. So I thought I'd just bring it up and show you what happened since then.
Okay.
It actually
it's on the right hand of the screen.
AB equals CD, but it was an extended one.
You gotta move it over a little bit more, Henrik. It's not showing up in the box. The second one of the S&P.
Okay. You don't
Just bring it over a little.
There.
No.
Better.
Oh, okay. So the one with the black line is the one you want to show, or there's another one? Can you hear me? I think that maybe we're having some technical issues here.
No.
All right, you're breaking up on me a little bit. So I see the chart that you showed. It looks like, you know, an ABC, and then you have a black line. And then on the right-hand side of your screen, there's another S&P chart that we can only see half of.
Yeah. Hello?
No, it's still there, stuck there. And you're starting to break up a little bit. Henrik, can you hear me?
Okay, do you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up. I don't know what it is. Maybe the bandwidth or something is, you're breaking up a little bit. You were going to bring up the daily S&P. We just see the initial one that you put on. We haven't seen the results of that pattern. Can you hear me? Henrik, I'm going to just thank you for what you showed us so far. We're having technical difficulties now.
He seems to be muted, maybe by mistake.
Yeah, that may have happened, but
No, he's
you know, we got
unmuted
some.
now.
Okay, are you there, Henrik? Okay. Everyone thank Henrik for being here and giving it a go, and he showed us some nice looks. Pound could get up towards 130. The Aussie, I believe it was Aussie CAD earlier, Aussie CAD, a nice harmonic pattern. And then, you know, S&Ps are, you know, Henrik's not the only one that's had trouble with S&Ps, okay? I've had trouble with S&Ps too, like being bearish too often. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up here. And you could follow Henrik at Henrik, HENRIK _ HTSE. And I want to thank everyone for their contributions today. On Friday, perhaps we'll get some more screenshots and take a look at the week ahead. Let me just take a quick look at show my screen. Okay, so the euro so far has not been able to make a new high. If it can do it tomorrow, remember, also under 740 is going to be your first inkling. Okay, take it easy, Jack. That the euro is going to start heading down again back under 740. Otherwise, now, if we make a move up towards 780 or so, we're going to have a non-confirmation in my view. Okay, and again, I still think that there's a shot for the Dixie to make one more low. We'll see maybe around 99.30, and pound is going pound's going Blake's way. Everyone enjoyed today's session. Give me a Y if you love face. Here's my Y. I love face. So I'm gonna call it a day, and we'll TGIF tomorrow, everybody. Good hunting the rest of the day. Don't, yeah, okay. Thank you, Amir. Thank you, David. A lot of excellent content, very good team. Yes, Ronit. You're welcome, my trading warrior brothers and sisters. Remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. I count working with Blake and the team and all of you a blessing in my life. I hope you feel the same way. You're welcome, Blake. Ben, take it easy. Arianto, nice Euro-Yen trade partner. I'll see everyone tomorrow. Adios.